Hey, it's Mo from Healthpreneurial Mastery, coming to you from, I guess, in the construction zone right now. So behind these walls right here, next to me here, so behind these walls right here are going to be some of our clinic rooms. And I've just set up shop, neighboring our brand new clinic rooms, just to, I guess, be able to facilitate a lot of the project management work that goes into running this Shopfit. Now, as promised, I wanted to really, use this as an opportunity to debrief on some of the lessons learned along the way. There's not a lot of visible changes that you'll notice in the pharmacy going on right now. I popped in over the weekend and, obviously works are happening, but a lot of the works relate to the pre-wiring of the electrical, for example, or the running of a hot water line, for example. So you're going to see a lot of those works kind of happening in the ceiling. It's not like putting up walls and seeing the massive transformation that happens when walls go up, flooring goes down, the robot getting built, all of those sorts of things. And so with that then will obviously come a pretty uninteresting walkthrough video, right? You're probably not going to really see a lot of change happening. And so what I wanted to do today is just kick off these lessons learned series during the Shopfit. And what I want to do as my first lessons learned is really take you back to well before this even started. So a Shopfit doesn't happen overnight. And if you've never gone through one before, you might be thinking about doing one in the near future. You might be thinking about doing one in the not so near future. And as a result, in the distant future, whatever it might be, you may have just gone through one yourself and you've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And so that's my first question to you right now. If you've gone through it recently, what are some of the key lessons learned that you've experienced? And I want you to drop a comment in the comment section below, even as we journey on through this. But I want to take you back to well before this started. Now, our planning for our Shopfit started over a year ago. And some of you might be thinking, damn, that's a long time. But what happens in a Shopfit, right? It's not just around putting new fixtures on, and depending on the scope of your Shopfit, you might be doing some minor modifications. For example, you might have an existing pharmacy and you want to add it in a clinic room. Okay, cool. And you might section off a part of your pharmacy and create that into a clinic room. And so it might be some adjustments on your gondola layout, on your retail space layout, maybe your dispensary layout, but in hindsight, it's pretty minor when it comes to Shopfit, right? And probably minor compared to what you're seeing so far in our Shopfit. And so my first lesson learned is ultimately around planning, is ultimately around the need to plan. And to think about not just the big ticket stuff, but to start to think about the little things when it comes to figuring out what to do with the Shopfit. Where is stock going to go? How is your team going to operate in this space? Are you going to be trading during the Shopfit? And if so, what are your plans for that? How much space do you need? Where is all the stock going when you condense your pharmacy into a smaller staged area? All of these little things here all need to be considered. And when you think about the amount of planning required, what I want you to do right now is comment below and let me know 1, 2, or 3 things that you feel, if you've gone through a Shopfit before, what you would have done differently when it came down to planning. For me, it would have been aligning on the little things a lot earlier, aligning on the IT requirements of the pharmacy. So we could have planned for the joinery, made sure all of the joinery fit a long time ago. That's probably my number one thing when it comes down to planning, is thinking about these little things, right? We don't often think about, say, the size of the printers or where our computer terminal is going to exactly fit into the joinery. Now, in my mind, I plan a lot for that, and I spent a lot of time looking at that. But when it comes down to technology changes pretty rapidly, right? And so thinking about the technology that you want to put into your pharmacy needs to not just start well into the planning process. I would be looking at it now. So if you're thinking about a Shopfit, I want you to, my first lessons learned is around planning for the tech that you want to put into it. Planning from the onset rather than further down the track, because everything needs to have a home, right? And your planning process will help ensure everything has a home. And so that's one of the lessons that I'm learning right now in terms of, yes, we planned for it, but could we have done it better? 100%. 100%. We could have picked the technology a long time ago. We could have had the arrangements for it. We could have known the sizes of the TV monitors going up. Those sorts of elements right there are a lot of the smaller things that we don't think about. And so I'm going to leave you with that thought right now. And like I asked you before, what's 1, 2, or 3 things that if you could go back in time and think about and plan for, what would it have been? What would it have been? That's the question that I have for you today. If you could go back in time, what would you have planned for differently or planned for altogether if you could redo it all again? So, what's your lesson learned from your Shopfit journey or any journey within your pharmacy that relates to planning? Let me know in the comment section below. And that's my first one there. So planning needs to start well in advance, and you need to be thinking about all the tech that you're going to be putting in. Pick the models, make your selections, and roll with it from there. All right, so that's it from me. Have an awesome day, and I'll be checking in with you very, very soon. Bye for now.